I think it's because it's blurry. It looks like it's darker. Yeah, because this is like a nice crisp line. This is actually darker, but because this is like scattered, it looks darker, and it's also in a darker green. So this is like a nice bright green, and this is a dark green, so it looks stronger. All right. Graphic design is my passion. Okay. Yeah, but with that, exit out. Discard changes to that. Boom. All right, and yeah. So keep an eye out in. Oh, goodness me, where am I going? There we go. Yeah. So keep an eye out on the Discord, Twitter, and all that. And as this all kind of slowly coalesces into something in the next, preferably 3 days, I'll probably be announcing this and putting it out there. The date is going to be, what is this? August the 28th, which is a Friday.
Well, bring ourselves over. Just the damn button. There's the damn button. There we go. Hello there, everybody. How y'all doing? And hey there, Robin. Hey there, Mex. How y'all doing? So, like I said, haven't done this in a while, but not only am I plugging the bass in on stream, which I haven't done in a while, I'm going. Okay, so both of these basses now have new strings on them. Because like I said, one of the reasons why I had not been playing so often is because every time I would, my right hand in particular would break out. Wise, what's up? Thanks for the raid. I saw the graphic design is my passion. Graphic design is my passion, right? You know what I'm saying here? Graphic design is my passion. What you got for me, Robin? What you got for me? And hello there. Hey there, Horacio. What was I going to say though beforehand? Ah, yes. So, I actually have the bass. Huh. Oh God. Am I? I shouldn't be. Why am I muted? OBS doesn't say I'm muted. Okay, that was weird. That was weird. There, you should be able to hear me again now. Wait, why is it doing that now? Why is it only showing the one side? Oh, there we go. There we go. Now that's better. Not ideal, but it's better. Whilst I restart Reaper and get that to behave itself. I was trying to be clever and use Reaper's project tabs so that I could have the amp and the mic up, and then I could go and close the setup with the amp after a while. But it seems like that's not going to work. So give me a moment to restart Reaper basically, and that'll be going again. So where the hell is Reaper at? There it is. Quit application. So a few months ago, somebody posted a video of every single sound effect in Gunner Heat PC. I know I can't find this video anymore, but it contains some sound effects for... Okay, so first of all, I'm going to guess the Leopard 2, as well as one or both of the Soviet ATGM characters, Robin. Beyond that, I couldn't tell you for sure. I don't know what else might be in there, but I'm guessing those two are among the included items. Because I know that the Leopard 2, you know, they've been teasing the Leopard 2 for almost a year at this point, and that's actually part of the reason why they went and did the Leopard 1A4, is the Leopard 1A4's fire control is very similar to the Leopard 2's, where you actually range the target, then have to hit a separate input to apply lead. The only difference being the Leopard 2 has a laser rangefinder instead of the optical stereoscopic system of the Leopard 1A4. But what else was there? What else was there that was teased? Because I know some of it is stuff that it's not stuff that isn't in game yet. It's stuff from early versions of the game that was cut once they decided that the game was going to be set in 1985. Especially if it's a very old video like that. It's a very old video of those kind of things. Some of that isn't going to be stuff that isn't in the game. Some of that is just going to straight up be cut content. All right, let's bring this over now. So now, like I was saying, I actually do have the bass plugged in, right? And now that I've actually got it open, let's see. So what was I going to do? I was going to set up some stuff for the actual instrument. That's what I was going to do. So we go here, we load that IR, we load this IR, then we come into our effects channels, load those up, and I'm thinking we're going to start with one of my favorites, an absolute classic of a setup here. So give me a moment to get this all set up. I don't know why it defaults to the DoD Carcosa. That's a nice pedal, but not really what I'm looking for right now. There's one. Yeah, no, I do. I do multi-streaming mechs. I absolutely do multi-streaming. The BO-105, the very fast German boy, and the opening and closing sound effects for crew hatches. Ah! That is actually really interesting now that you mention it. Now that you mention it, that's really interesting. That's really interesting that you mention it. Also, I have to go here now. Hook these up so that OBS will actually get the instrument. Then there's one more thing I want to do. I have to go here and do it. Bring you on as well. There we go. So I've had this video that I saw like a month or so ago. I saw it a month or so ago, right? And it was called Gent Without Amp. And it was like this guy playing the guitar. He was playing basically a Gent riff on his guitar, but he didn't have it plugged in, or at the very least he wasn't playing. He was just having the mic up to the guitar and playing that. But it got me interested, like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to do the same thing on it because I'm playing this on bass rather than guitar, which means instead of the chords, I'm gonna be going for, you know, probably the root notes in the chords. But I started trying to learn how to play that, and I made a bit of progress on that. It was like one of the things that really got me to pick up the instrument again was trying to play that once I got new strings on it. But where was I? Making sure everything else was set up good. Okay, but so now I think I've actually got it set up. Let's make sure this actually sounds right now. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, that was like one of the first things that I was actually trying to learn how to play again. Once I actually picked the bass back up, I was like, oh, I bet I can learn this. Also, I just realized it's been muted this whole time, so you can't actually hear what I'm playing. God damn it. There we go. But this is the actual, so y'all were getting the exact same thing I was doing just there a minute ago, where it was like, oh, this is what it sounds like without an amp. You weren't expecting to hear the audio for the BO-105. You know why they had it announced. It'll be in the game a while ago, but you didn't expect to hear audio for it. Ah. What is that face there, Max? What is that face there? It seems like you have been... Oh, the rip, yeah. Yeah, no, that was 100% a goddammit rip moment. Now you should be able to hear it correctly, though. some of the stuff people have been posting. The people who are on the Patreon branch have been posting stuff. I know. I saw some of those. And I know that I don't know when it's going to happen. I know that some point in the near future, alongside everything else that's coming, the M901 is going to be one of the first vehicles, the first ATGM carriers that's going to be promoted to playable status. So I'm really looking forward to that, actually. Bullshit. I mean, okay, you are already gonna know what mission it is. You already know which mission it's gonna be, Robin, because it is obviously Pushing Tin Part 2. It's Pushing Tin Part 2, and it is specifically Pushing Tin Part 2, and it's the part where after you finally manage to clear out those pinches M901s that are hiding, that are like up on the hilltop, and basically slaughter half your company before you manage to get rid of them. You know, there's a reason why that mission is called the Valley of the Toes. It is the goddamn reinforcement company of M60s coming down the hill. And it's not them killing me, not directly, no. It is specifically those M60s are coming down the hill after you've managed to finally make your breakthrough. They kill the tank next to me. And it is, I don't know if it was I don't think the objects have any substantial impact like that. So it probably was the blast. But they get a catastrophic detonation on the tank next to me. It's a T-80 mission. So T-80, when the T-80 blows up, it blows up big. You are very well aware of this He-Who Soviet ammo storage. But T-80 next to me blows up. The blast catches me as well. And it starts a chain reaction where, I don't know, maybe some of the shrapnel from the blast hit my turret ammo, hit my ammo stowage as well. But they managed to get a 3 for the price of 1. They got a 3 for the price of 1. I don't know how that happened, and I am kind of upset that it didn't happen anywhere where I could record what happened, but it was the wackiest shit. Like, it is the kind of thing where if you were the commander of that M60 watching through your sight, watching through your optics, you see a 3 for the price of 1. You are probably having a bit of a moment yourself, because that should not happen. Like, that should not happen. And so you're having a bit of a moment there. You saw a Marder A1 kill a T-72 from the front with oh, I know what happened there. One of two things happened in that situation, and they're both equally likely. That's the thing. You mentioned right there, Robin. There's one of two things that happen right there, both of them equally likely. So, either just from the sheer volume of stuff, in both cases they happen because of the sheer volume of stuff that the Marder was sending in that T-72's direction. Either one of these, whichever one happened, it happened because of the sheer volume of stuff being sent in that T-72's direction. But basically, either it hit, so you know the driver's periscope in the T-72, right? The armor around that area is actually a lot thinner. And in some places, it's only bulletproof. Like like right around the very edge of the periscope, it's only bulletproof. It's not very strong. It's not very strong armor at all. Either they managed to slip a 20mm round through the driver's periscope, and it hit the ammo behind. It went through the driver's skull and then hit the ammo behind it. Or, and again, in both cases, it's happened because of the sheer volume of stuff that the Marder is throwing out. It managed to find a gap in the model geometry where there was technically no armor, and it managed to go through that hole, through an armor hole like that. Whatever happened, it was probably one of those two situations that led to the Marder being able to kill the T-72 the way that you just described. Either one is equally likely, but one of those two, and it could have happened, and the reason it would have happened is just, like I said, the sheer quantity of stuff that is going that the Martyr is throwing in the vague general direction of the T-72 in question. But also, so that's something I've been learning how to play, right? That's something I've been trying to figure out how to play, do something with, is that riff right there. Another one, so this is something I was recording earlier, and I'm still not entirely sure where I want to go with this, because this is kind of just repeating itself. But, so this is something else I've been kind of messing with lately, is this one as well. I've got like the start of something there, right? But I'm not entirely sure where I actually want to go with it yet. Shit you not. One of those 20mm API rounds right into the gunner's sight, punched right and clear through the gunner's torso. Oh, and it hit the spare ammo in the back of the turret, didn't it? So it knocked out the gunner, and then it also... Okay, so first of all, I say kill like this, I am making the assumption that there was a catastrophic failure. This was a catastrophic failure of the T-72's structural integrity. I may not be correct about that. It may have just knocked out the crew. But I'm guessing that once it went through the gunner's torso and hit the back of that T-72's turret, it hit one of the spare propellant charges, or God forbid, a high explosive round that was stowed behind the gunner, didn't it? That's my best guess to where that went. That's my best guess as to what happened to that T-72 right there. Obviously, I can't say much more. I can't really say, whether that's the case for sure or not, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. But also, so that's something I've been kind of messing around with, right? Is that, which, kind of goes like this. But the gunner dying instantly caused the rest of the crew to bail. Yeah, okay, so there was no catastrophic failure, but the crew did bail because of the loss of the gunner. Okay, and that does make sense because Soviet tanks only having the 3 crew members, the commander, if the commander wanted to take over, either, okay, I don't remember if T-72s have linked controls or not, but if they didn't, the commander would have to like awkwardly shuffle their way across the turret and around the breach, assuming they could even fit to get to the gunner's side. And that's literally the only T-72 that got knocked out in the battle. Oh, that's amazing. That is absolutely incredible. that one we don't want to run that. We don't want to run the Carcosa, and we actually do want to swap this over to be like that. To be, yeah, like that. Let me go check Prism real quickly. No, that's not it at all. Okay. I just need to straight up turn up the volume. Okay. There we go. That's more where I'm looking for. Oh no. Oh wait, no. It's fine. It's just doubling up. Ugh. 1 second. I know how to fix this. Yeah, you go away. I don't want you doing that. You understand me? There we go. I don't know why it was doing that. I know why it was doing that, I should say. It's because of me being kind of sloppy with routing the inputs. That is actually a bass line that every once in a while gets stuck on my head because it's one of the first bass lines I ever actually learned how to play on a 5-string. That's like the main bass line riff from, of all things, Daddy by Korn. You know, one of the darkest songs they ever made. It's like half the reason why I picked up a 5-string, not for that song in particular, but you know, Korn was actually really where I started with getting interested in playing a 5-string. You know, that line right there, which, okay, if you've never actually listened to Daddy by Korn, it is, like I said, I am not joking when I say probably the darkest song they ever did, by the way. Like, it's nothing the T-72 crew could have done there. The only Soviet tanks with a modern hunter killer system were, yeah, T-80, T-80UD, and the original model T-90s. The T-70, basically the T-72 BUs, yeah. You know, I didn't even know that the T-80U, and actually, you know, it's funny you mentioned that. Okay, so it's not so much the hunter killer system, because the T-72, and this may have been only something that was implemented on the B model and later, but the T-72 Commander's Cupola actually does have an option, a button, that when it's turned on looking at something, the T-72's commander, they have to hold 2 buttons to do this, but one button will slew the turret in the direction their cupola is looking, and then the other button will hold their view steady. So I think it's they tap, they hit the slew button, you know, they hold the counter rotation button, and then they hit the slew button, and the whole turret will look in the direction the commander is looking. But I'm guessing that the main thing there is, once that happens, the gunner has to take over and you know, do the final lay and service the target, which is something that the T-80U and so on were the first Soviet tanks to address. I don't know what that is, but that feels like that's turning into something. I can't put my finger on what it is though. But it feels like that wants to turn into something. I just don't know what is the thing, right? It's like that wants to turn into something, but I'm not sure what. And that's the thing I'm trying to figure out here is like, what is that trying to turn into? Because that feels like it's trying to turn into something, but I can't put my finger on what it is. And I feel like there should be something to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that feels like there's something there, but I can't put my finger on what it is. You ever get that feeling? It's like, you ever get that feeling? It's like you think you have something, but you don't know what to do with it, and it feels like it should turn into something, but you can't put your finger on what? Because I've kind of got that with whatever that is right now. It's like, what is this? What is this? What does this want to be? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting with whatever that is. I was like, what is this? What does this want to be? On Soviet model T-72s, the T-64, except for the BM, original T-80, T-80B. Yeah, okay. It's exactly what I thought. So it is exactly what I thought, and that would explain why they bailed as soon as they lost the gunner. Is that so the commander can't do the final lay. That explains it, yeah. So the commander can't do the final lay and service the target. They are dependent on the gunner for that. That makes more sense now. That makes more sense now. Okay. That makes a lot more sense now that when you explain it like that. I was like, huh. There's something that I'm missing here. It's like they can slew the turret, but that's exactly what it is. Is they can slew the turret, but they can't do anything beyond that. So that is one of my favorite riffs right there. That's one of my favorite like 5-string riffs. That is a hard riff to actually play though. Like right there, you heard that just now. So that is, for anybody who's not familiar, that is the verse riff from Got the Life. And that riff is, like I said, it's not very technical, but it's brutally physical. Also, did you know this until recent? How many T-80Us? I'm guessing not a lot. How many T-80Us? I actually want to know. I really want to know how many T-80Us did the Soviet Union actually produce? Because I'm guessing the number is going to be way higher than I'm expecting, or way lower than anybody would expect. Because yeah, on one hand, it's a Soviet tank. On the other hand, it's the T-80U, which they never really made a lot of. They never did really make a lot of T-80Us. So I'm guessing, like I said, the number is going to be weird one way or another. How weird is the number? So what the hell is that? It's like some kind of electromagnetic. 40, all built. All built by Kharkiv with Contact 1 and the T-80 UD style. That can't be right. That cannot be right. Unless you're only counting new construction and excluding. That cannot be right. That is, that, I mean, like I said, there's not a lot of them, so that, you know, they are rare fellas, but only 40? That cannot be right. Like, there's something about that number that just feels off. I'm not sure what, but something there does not feel right. That unless it was a case that T-80U Oh no, I see what it is now. They only did T-80U production after the Soviet Union collapsed. That's what it is. Okay. That's making a lot more sense to me. I was like, that number cannot be right. But then you were saying Soviet production, not overall production. That makes a bit more sense. That makes a bit more sense that the production would be that low. I still feel skeptical about that number, but because it just doesn't feel right. But okay, that makes a bit more sense now. Production did not begin until 1990. Yeah, okay. That makes sense now. Production didn't start until 1990, so almost all of the production was post-Soviet collapse. All right, that makes more sense now. That makes a lot more sense now about how that happens. Because I was just looking here, I was just like, how? How was production that low? But Soviet production was what was that low. That makes more sense now. exact date, but you think that tank got it? But Kubinka got that tank in the 1990s, like 97 if you remember correctly. But you'd have to check again later. Yeah, no, I could absolutely. God, imagine being a historian, going through Kubinka in the 90s and very early 2000s when all the archives were open. God, if you could tell somebody, if you were like a time traveler from the future, you could go back to then. That would be the thing I'd say is like, take everything. I don't care how unimportant it is, just all of it. Scan it all, one way or another. Get copies of everything. This is the only chance you're going to have. Like, that would be like the thing I would say in that situation. That is one of those other ones that's one of those tracks that I don't remember how that one goes. Or rather, I have to switch basses to play that one because that one's in a different tuning. So excuse me a moment. I'm going to go grab the 4-string actually because I'm just thinking, I don't know why, I'm thinking about that album again. I don't know if any of you have ever heard this before, but so there's an album I really like called I believe it's either called The Seven Goblins or The Rainbow Goblins, right? And it's a really, really good jazz fusion album. But there's the second or third track in that. First of all, the intro to it is really fun. It's just, goobading, 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 like hyping itself up like that. But also, to go with that, alongside that is a bass riff that is so much fun. It's a faster bass riff later on in the song, but that opening bit is probably one of my favorite slap riffs. One of my favorite slap riffs in jazz, in like jazz fusion, and it's a super fun riff. So let me just pull. So we switched over to the 4-string now. Let me turn off this really scooped EQ. So, 4-string in standard tuning. Let me bring this over now. Turn that off. Might even just actually go bring it over to just like a standard, more common like standard bass EQ like that. Yeah, that one right there. I love that riff. Also, another thing that's different about this bass. So, the one I was playing before, the 5-string, that one has both of my basses are on stainless strings because I don't know if I am or not, but I suspect I might be allergic to nickel, which is also why I'm considering also. One of the other things I'd like to get done with these basses is I want to get them refretted as well in stainless. Again, with stainless frets. That way, in case I want to basically get rid of all of the nickel in the areas where I'm actually like playing the instrument. That way I don't have to worry about it. So I do want to eventually refret these basses in stainless steel so I don't have to worry about that anymore. An original Model T80, as to what happened to it or where it is, I don't know, as you've only ever seen one of. Ooh, that's probably going to be a very interesting story, suffice to say. But also, this is the bass I was originally playing that other riff on. That is something that I definitely want to try and work on that bass line and try to figure out what the hell I actually want to do with that. But also, ad break is going to be starting soon. So if you need a chance to stretch, grab a drink, etc., now's going to be the time to do it, and I will see y'all when it's over. No, we're still there. Now we're back. Okay. Sorry about that. And we are back. And let's see here. A 76 production at 61st BTRZ near St. Petersburg. A 77 tank in Kyiv. A 76 in Kataysk. Oh, wow. The fact that there's a non-zero number of original Model T-80s on one level is a little surprising, but okay. So it's kind of split actually, because on one hand, you have the Soviet tendency to never get rid of anything even after it is massively obsolete. But on the other hand, when they do, they usually do try to modify it to some extent. So that's actually, yeah, that is weird. One of the tanks that lacks a weld-on plate is a rare April 77 tank with three... Wait. There's a T-80 with 3 driver periscopes between Mykolaiv and Kirovograd? Oh, that's weird. Okay. There's also pre-adoption tanks. So let's see. Kirovograd, also known as Kropivnitsky. And this, you said the Strategic Rocket Forces Museum is there. Let's see here. Pre-adoption tanks with TPD-249, one at Kubika, build date of April 1975, and one at Chelyabinsk, build date December 74. Oh my god, those are super early. Damn. But also, as you can see, we are over here now. And so I feel like the first thing to do is something we haven't done in a while. I have not done Longer Road in a bit, and I feel like it is probably one of the best missions to really sell people who have never seen this game before on the vibe of this game. Also, on the subject of funny tank games, Robin, have you seen Carcass Clad? Because it is a game that I both think I think, one, you would find it interesting. Two, you would probably be surprised who's making it. So Carcass Clad is a game by the mouthwashing developers. Like, the people who made mouthwashing made Carcass Clad. Alright, so let's see what our situation is like here. Waypoints are, as we see there. So one tank has completely lost its fire control. The other one is not looking too good. Bravo 2-2 is all the way out here. I'm thinking this is not the mission to substantially alter our route on. But let's take advantage of our thermals for as long as we have them, because I know they are eventually going to be gone. That's how this mission goes after all. Platoon tank is behind. Quick scan. Keep a nice steady pace. Okay, so Carcass Clad is the new... Okay, so are you at all familiar with the game Mouthwashing? Mouthwashing was sort of like an indie horror darling that came out a year and a half ago, I think, at this point.
It might be longer, but I remember first seeing it somewhere between like a year and a half and 2 years ago. I'm not really into that sort of game, but a lot of people I know were. And so, of course, it kind of popped off at the time. And it's a game basically about, you know, a ship carrying a cargo full of mouthwash gets trapped, you know, crashes on an unknown planet. And it's the story of, you know, it's the story of the crew trying to survive as their resources run out and the isolation, you know, starts to drive them mad, right? So that's mouthwashing. And it has like a really, you know, there's like a really dark narrative twist towards the end as well. So that developer is making a game where you play as a tank crew. And the reason why I'm really interested in Carcass Clad is because it's going to be that sort of unique crossover between the sim and horror spheres of like streaming. And I think that's going to be really fun to like get people, use that to get people who are like horror people into like sim kind of like sim content. And then if we can go from there and get them into something like Gunner Heat PC, that would be really funny. Bonk. Whenever I hear Gunner Coax, my default response is fuck the coax, just use a heat round. I don't know. I wonder actually how prevalent that reaction is, because I'm pretty sure if you went and polled the Gunner Heat PC Discord, I bet you would see that is pretty much the common response. Is you hear Gunner Coax, like fuck the coax, I'm tossing a heat round at it. Yeah. And so one of the things about Carcass Clad in particular that's going to be interesting is, aside from the fact that you're playing as a tank crew, all of the controls are fully diegetic / skeuomorphic. So I don't know if they're fully are, but it's very diegetic, very skeuomorphic controls. So traversing the turret, for example, involves going and cranking the knob, cranking the handle to bring the turret around into position and stuff like that. And it's a combo I'd actually really love to see more of. Yeah, it's like I don't want to wait for the coax. I want them gone now. Exactly. But I think it was like. But anyways, yeah, back to that combination of like, you know, simulator and horror. That's also why I tell anybody who is, I've been actually going around and I've been telling people who I know are like big on like the indie horror side of stuff, is you need to try either this mission or Pact Partnership. Because they are 100% pure survival horror. Like, you know, Longer Road and Pact Partnership both are just pure survival horror, especially the first time through. I was like, the first afterwards, you know, if you're familiar with it, that familiarity, you kind of don't, you know, it doesn't get to you nearly as badly. But their first playthrough of this mission and Pact Partnership really are something special if you've never done it before. Like, I remember I streamed the first time I played this mission, and there was a moment that's probably going to be coming up very soon that I was just like, I was freaking the fuck out the entire time. I want to see if I can get... Like, I would love to see, like, the, you know, a lot of like horror streamers, I think they would have very fun reactions to this part of the mission that's coming up in particular. Also, I learned something interesting recently. So, you know, Wise, the person who raided earlier, we were talking about thermals, right? And the polarity on thermal sights. Hey there, Skull, how you doing? Yeah, I'm in a heart spiking contest, and my opponent is a GHPC dev.
Truck identified. Fire away. Target. Re-engage. Careful. Re-engage.
But anyway, so we were talking about how
Fire away. Re-engage.
that exact situation, you could have, you know,
Target. Cease fire.
what was I saying? Oh yeah, like you just have somebody who's like, you know, who's like a big, you know, big on like indie horror games and such, playing this for the first time. I think they would absolutely love it, in no small part because, like you were saying before, like you just said about heart rate spiking and all like the moments in this that are just pure fucking stress.
Fire on the way. Take target. Gunner team attack.
Right side.
Fire away. Target. Re-engage.
Oh, you've got to be shitting me!
Gunner team attack.
You've got to be shitting me!
On the way. Re-engage.
Oh!
On the way. Target. Re-engage.
That is the worst!
On the way.
So, you see the red text on the left side. You already know what this means, Samar. You already know what this means. But, yeah, this mission's done.
Cease fire.
We have lost that tank. Which means we only have the one tank now with the auxiliary sight. Oh, this is gonna be unpleasant. Why would you fucking die? Oh, this is gonna be unpleasant now. Here we go. Let's see how this goes. Woo. Because like I said, we just lost the tank that still had its primary sight and its night sight. So now we're in a very interesting situation. Let's see how this goes for us. Take things nice and slow and steady. Throw some illumination flares up so that when we get there, we don't get taken totally by surprise.
Gunner, heat, PC. Gunner, left. On. Identified. Fire.
All right, I see him.
He's looking at us.
I don't see him actually. So, front towards enemy. Let's crest this little ridge here. See if we can get a better look at him. Ah, there he is. Hello, Mr. BMP. Whew. Restocking. Now that we have a bit of... Whoa! Oh, that was scary. Where was that? Where did that tracer come from? Got him! Come on, come on, come on! Every fucking East German tanker in the Fulda Gap is like the Terminator if he was German. Well, I mean, he was Austrian, so how far off is that? That is the question you have to ask is, the Terminator is canonically Austrian, so whilst not quite German, getting into the territory. Oh, losing the first tank in that moment there was definitely the part that fucked us over. Because the progressive degradation definitely eases you into, being able to operate without your various, your fire control system, your night sight, etc. So losing them all at once because the tank that still has functional systems got tracked sucks. Also, Fuse, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm really looking forward to Gunner Heat PC getting multiplayer. Apparently they're currently, that is one of the things they're currently working on, trying to figure out how to get it all set up, by the way. But that's going to be wild once it's ready to go. Like, just imagine having, like 3 guys, imagine this mission, but you have like one person in the tank over there that's like lost half of its systems. And you're just trying to keep both of them alive as long as possible. So you have one person there. So you have the one person who still has their shit functional, basically playing spotter for the person in the broken down tank, so that they can, so they don't have to move forward as much and can keep the operational tank up for longer. You have the broken tank go forwards. The tank that's still, operational moves up ahead, hangs behind and uses the thermals to play spotter for them.
Gunner, coax, truck, traverse left. On. Identified. Fire. On the way. Target. Next target. Gunner, coax, truck. On. Identified. Fire. On the way. Target. Cease fire.
It's out of your wheelhouse. But yeah, no, it's not out yet. It's not out yet, so I don't know how long it's going to be.
Fire. On the way. Target. Cease fire.
But it's very much one of those things I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. Also, once, after Carcass Clad, I am definitely, if I can get people to join my, to be in, if I can get a crew together for Carcass Clad, especially if Gunner Heat PC's multiplayer doesn't, isn't going to be that long afterwards, I am definitely thinking about getting people who are like pulled in with Carcass Clad. I am going to try very hard to sell them on Gunner Heat PC, just to see how well that works for them as well. How well that works.
Target. Cease fire.
And also just because I'm telling you, like missions like this, or Pact Partnership, or another one, let's see, Longer Road, Pact Partnership. What else comes to mind? Oh yeah, Pushing 10 Part 2. Pushing 10 Part 2, I am fully serious when I say that is one of the most terrifying experience, one of the most stressful experiences you could ever have in a game. Like, that mission is pure stress. I think we're gonna do that one afterwards so you can see exactly what I mean, of just like how stressful things can get. As I feel like, this is, as much as this mission can be arguably called horror or like survival horror, this is not a horror game. If there was a way I would describe something like Gunner Heat PC and the vibe it has, that is the term I would use for it, is I would call it a stress game. It is very much a psychological stress test of sorts. very much built around the whole, like, how well do you operate in a stressful situation? That's how I would describe Gunner Heat PC to somebody who's never played it. This is a stress game. It's like, this is not cozy. This is stress. Oh yeah, no, the AI rework as well. I'm wondering actually if the AI rework is one of the reasons why those PT-76s were able to get that damn near perfect track shot on me. Because that was a very unpleasant surprise for sure. Also reminds me, there's another genre of games I hear that I've heard mentioned occasionally, and I've heard them called two different things depending on what language the person is speaking, right? So in Japan, they're sometimes called murige. It's like impossible game. Like the English equivalent, the closest English equivalent I've heard is Fodian game. It's like, Bennett or Fodian game, like Bennett Foddy, the person behind Getting Over It. And did they also do Baby Steps? I forget. I know they did Getting Over It, which I know that was like a really popular streamer rage game for a while. And I wouldn't necessarily call this a rage game. It is, however, it's very stressful, but I would say that's different from a rage game. Oh, those two PT-76s are coming on. It's one down. Yeah, that one's burning. There's the second one. Woo! Beautiful hits there. Man, I remember the first time I did this, somehow those two PT-76s, they tanked like 7 or 8 heat rounds a piece. Like, it was so hard to kill them. I don't know what happened there, but it was deeply, deeply unpleasant. Like, they were just there, just like, yeah, no armor, best armor. But I remember, I was like, because I remember I didn't know what they were at the time, right? Because so those are PT-76s, in case you, anyways. So those over there are a Soviet light tank called the PT-76. That was basically used by Soviet naval infantry because it can swim. But when I first saw those coming over the hill, I had no idea what they were at the time. And they just happened to, they were just like these blobs on my thermal sights, and I didn't have any illumination flares up. So I had no idea what I was looking at. Which was which startled the shit out of me. Oh, BMP.
On the way. Target. Re-engage. Ceasefire.
I don't like it. There, it's burning. That means it's dead. I remember that's also like the other thing I always kind of made like a personal rule with this game is, if it's not burning, it's not dead. I remember that's like one of those things that I kind of started adapting almost like a religious mantra is, it's not burning, it's not dead. Turn. Oh. Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, that's basically, it's very much like, yeah, it's a boat with some tracks on it that's meant to cover naval landing forces, because a regular tank would sink. It's an amphibious fighting vehicle, is what it is. An amphibious armored fighting vehicle meant to operate with naval infantry during coastal landing operations. Like, more so than anything else, that's what it is. Yeah, but with a big ass gun on tracks. Yeah, that's a pretty apt way to describe the PT-76 for sure. That is a pretty apt way to describe the PT-76 for sure. Well, we just lost our night sight. So illumination here. And let's see if we can get a good fix. Because I saw what looked like a spotlight just now while we were coming over. And I believe that would... I think there is a T-55 somewhere around here. Don't remember where. I think it's over this way. Looking for anything that's like tank-shaped.
Gunner, DPC. Traverse left. On. Identify. Fire. On the way. Over. Engage.
Oh, it's way closer. Ah, there it is. BTRs.
On the way. Target. Next target. Gunner, Sable, PC. Identified. Fire. Fire heat. On the way. Target. Engage. Ceasefire.
Yeah.
Gunner heat. Take. On.
Yep, there's our T-55.
Fire. Fire Sable. On the
Hello.
way. Target. Ceasefire.
Oh, I knew there was one here. I just didn't know quite where. Woo, they blow up pretty though. They blow up real pretty. Looks like we've got another group of... Are those haystacks or... Oh, that is evil! That is evil! That haystack right there. You see that right there? That is malicious is what that is. Just have a haystack that is almost perfectly the same, perfectly BTR shaped right there in front of me when you're already on edge because you've lost your night sight, so you're completely reliant on ambient light sources and illumination flares to get anything, you know, to go anywhere, to see anything. So what's the fucking word I'm looking for here? To see anything. That is hateful. That is absolutely heinous. Ugh. Ugh, no sir, I do not like that. Well, there goes our primary. This is where the fun begins. Posted a photo on Gunner Heat PC's Discord. Someone losing an M1 after a 30mm HE penetrated the gunner's sight, detonated inside, and gave the gunner a tasty surprise. They probably lost the commander in that too. Like, that exact situation, they probably didn't just lose the gunner, they probably lost the commander from that as well. Yeah, just a little joke at the player's expense. Keeps you alert. Yeah, that's certainly a way of describing it, Fuse. That is certainly a way of describing this situation right now. Gonna wait for that illumination flare to go up, and then we'll see if we spot anything.
Identified. Next target. Gunner, Sable, PC. Traverse on the way. Traverse left. Next target. Gunner, Sable, PC. Identified. On the way. Over. Re-engage.
So now we have to practice manual gunnery. This will be fun.
Next target, gunner, coax, truck, traverse right. On. Identified. Target lost. Gunner, coax, truck. Identified. On the Re-engage. Doubtful. Re-engage. Target, ceasefire.
If we can get those trucks to start burning, they'll give us some light to work with. So putting some shots in their engine isn't a total waste of time. Oh! Hello! Oh, this is one of those BMPs, I think. Okay. Still, again, worth taking out so that they lose their, so that we can get some light from them burning. And now we get to meet Kharkiv's very, very special boy. And let me tell you, he's a very special boy indeed. Illumination is ready to go. So we're going to maintain those illumination shots around the Bravo 22's marked position. For now, let's try and move our way up to this next area. Hopefully won't have any unpleasant surprises. Been a while since I've done this. I'm pretty sure this village is empty. Never mind.
Identified. Fire. On the way. Everybody good? Fuck me. On the way. Shit. Oh, shit. Target, ceasefire.
All right, now it's dead. Yeah, no. I know there's been some there's been some people talking about 3BM32 being kind of a weird anachronism, because like people always talk about, people talk about how M833 had production issues early on in its lifespan and therefore would have been uncommon in 85, right? But several people have brought up quite credibly that 3BM32 would have been basically the same, but even worse. So it would be, that ranges somewhere from anachronism for the sake of balance to outright tankyism, depending on how charitable you feel like being that day. Yeah, depending on how you feel like being. The fact that it's the default shell, the default Sabo round for 125mm guns in general, whether it's T-72, actually I think the T-72s don't, because I don't remember the T-72s do, but the T-64s and T-80s both getting 3BM32 as their default Sabo round always felt wrong to me. That felt like something that was done to appease, that was done as a tankyism. Okay, so not the East Germans. Okay. Not the T-72s. But the fact that the T-64s, including the T-64As, have it as their default, not even like, oh, this is around, this is like, their equivalent of M833. No, this is their equivalent of M774. This is their baseline default round for all of their 125 tanks. Always felt a bit wrong to me. I'm gonna be totally honest with you, that always felt a bit wrong to me. And almost like a bit of a tankyism. Which, not pointing any fingers here, but I am pointing a finger, and I think you know who I'm pointing it at, Samar. I think you know who I'm pointing it at. So yeah, no, MVA, I'm talking about in-game, because 3BM32 being as prevalent as it is in-game is arguably more anachronistic than if M833 was the default round for the Abrams. Because it took even longer to get into production than M833 did, even when you include M833's production issues. So that always did feel a little suspicious to me. It honestly, I feel like, I do feel like, aside from, okay, so I do think if it was me and I was gonna do it, I was gonna like reallocate ammunition like that, I would have M833 be default exclusively to the IP. Everything else gets M774, except for the the M60, the regular Abrams and the M60A3s get 774, and then the M60A1s default to 735. I would have 3BM32 be default exclusively for the T80B, the T64, and then the T64s, both of them default to 26. Then the T72s, like you said, 3BM15. And then I don't know what the hell to do for the Leopards. So we're not going to talk about the Leopards, because if you want to try and keep that sort of tiered allocation, I'm not entirely sure how you would do it for them. Yeah, it would be even rarer than M833 is the point I'm trying to make there. It's like you could make a very credible argument that 3BM32 would be even rarer than M833. That's one of ours. All right, we've got their position. Opening barrage of artillery is out.
Tank, traverse right. Next target, gunner, Sabo, tank. Next target, gunner, Sabo, tank. Traverse left. Gunner, Sabo, tank. Next target, gunner, Sabo, tank. Next target, target locked.
Well, this is where things get interesting now.
Sabo, tank. Traverse right. Next target, gunner, Sabo, tank. Gunner, Sabo, tank. On the way. Traverse left. Next target, gunner, Sabo,
Stop right there.
Traverse right on the way. Target. Re-engage.
Ooh, come on. Next one.
On the way. Target. Gunner, Sabo, tank. Kill him. Daddy.
Working on it, believe me.
Fire. On the way. Target. Target locked. Gunner, Sabo, on the way. Target. Re-engage. Target locked. Gunner, Sabo, tank.
Oh, hello. Thank you for that perfect side profile, you tanky son of a bitch.
Re-engage. On the way. Target. Re-engage. Fire.
Woo! Oh man, I just remembered also. I don't remember, were you there? Were you there, Savar, when the first time I got through this mission all the way to the end, I got a catastrophic detonation on the very last T-64. Like, it was a thing of beauty. I got a catastrophic detonation on the very last T-64. Like, I'm not even talking, oh, it burned a bit and then the turret went up. No, instant boom, and then it was gone. It was a thing of beauty. It was an absolute thing of beauty. But now we're gonna switch sides. Now, ironically enough, we're switching sides. So, starting with part 1, because I want to show you, like, because we're gonna run the entirety of Pushington, because of course we are. Part 1 is actually, I remember, part 1 is actually pretty relaxing by comparison to part 2, because, yeah, no, it's literally just boom! Total catastrophic detonation of the T-64. Like, instant. Like, I must have hit one of their HE rounds or something like that. That's my best guess, is I hit one of their HE rounds. That's, which would explain why they went up so suddenly. The other thing I always remember from, not so much this one, but part 2 more so, is the helicopters eat shit. Every single time I've run Pushington Part 2, the helicopters really quickly eat shit. Like, they just get absolutely wrecked. Also, whoever came up with this, I want to know what they were thinking with the pancreatic magnification. Just give me 2 fixed levels of magnification. Give me like a by 3 and a by 6 magnification, please, for the love of God. This kind of sucks. I don't like this. I would love to know what the thought process behind that is, actually. It probably makes a lot more sense if you're in the controls, when you're using the actual controls of the T-80, where they would be, the low and high magnification settings are at the end of a dial. So you go, and just like how you would do with the, you know, the round, so the indexer, the fire control indexer on the Abrams, right? So you know how the fire control indexer on the Abrams, Sabo is on one end, Heat is on the other, right? I wouldn't be surprised if it's the exact same here, where they're expecting the gunner to, like, just, you know, go and basically slam it from end to end. That wouldn't surprise me at all, now that I'm actually thinking about it. Like, now that I'm actually thinking about it, the idea that, you know, you're intended to just slam it from one end of the dial to the other. Oh shit, there's a Bradley! Smoke out! Second volley. Yeah, they always eat shit. The only thing they do is look cool. Yeah, they provide illumination during night missions. Yeah. That is the primary purpose of a helicopter in this game, is to eat shit and provide illumination for nighttime engagements. Man, I hope they extend the fire gating to, like, you know how they adjusted the fire gating on the Abrams recently, where as you're moving, you have to kind of, like, the gun has to align with the sight. before it'll actually fire. I actually kind of like how that feels on the Abrams, and I hope that gets extended to other tanks soonish, because it actually works really well. Even if it's not a perfect solution, it works pretty well. Oh, no, that one just brewed up. I would not mind that getting extended to other tanks in the near future. It's more, they probably will, like you said. I'm just saying, I hope they do it sooner rather than later. And I hope they don't do some bullshit like say, oh, we're only going to do it to the NATO tanks first, or the Soviet tank, or we're only going to do it for the Soviet tanks first. Because that would, again, that would be strange. They probably won't because they're not Gaijin, but... Oh, I always forget you have to hit the button! Oh! That was uncomfortable. So what direction are we taking fire from? Oh, hello, Bradley. Oh, that's point blank. Ooh. We just lost our commander. Whew. Where did that last shot come from, I wonder? The times you said for me, actually, I know you said like you're gonna be, it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be late for me because of time zones, but yeah, like you said, like 7 or 8 Pacific totally works for me for Thursday Fuse. That absolutely works for me for Thursday. Oh, that's where they were. That's the shot that got my commander. That was the point blank panic shot. That was the Bradley I saw. It's another kind of point blank panic shot, as was that. Oh! Oh, that was accidental friendly fire. Got very lucky on that one, though. Got very lucky on that one, though. God damn. All right, let's run that again. Yeah, it would help in the T-72s and T-64s, especially since the 2E28M is designed to primarily work at low speed. Yeah, you're mostly going to be at like, what, 20 kilometers an hour? Ideally, with so like the T-72s, their setup is ideally meant to be, you're meant to be going, what, about 20 to 30 kilometers an hour? Which I was going a hell of a lot faster than that just there. But boys, you're not going to be going very fast most of the time. Entirely just because you can't really afford to. If you try to, it's going to end very poorly. All right, here we go again. Speaking of helicopters, that's another mission. Okay, so I was talking about how helicopters tend to eat shit, right? That's another mission I feel it's kind of weird because of the tendency for helicopters to eat shit in this game is prying eyes. Prying eyes feels very strange when you consider how often helicopters eat shit in this game. Because the whole point of that mission is literally just you're a BRDM scouting out an enemy group for an attack helicopter strike. And that feels very strange when you put those two factors together. Yeah, 15 to 20 kilometers an hour is where the 2E28M works best. Going past 20 and reaching 30 is where it's going to struggle to keep up. Yeah, that sounds about right. Ooh, the other thing I'm kind of looking forward to with the Leopard 2 as well. So you already know this, but the Leopard 2, its primary sight has a dual axis mirror, just like the T80. So that's going to feel really, really nice for stabilization.
Подкалиберным. На 30. ПТР. Цель понял. Огонь. Выстрел. МЗ. Вперед.
Shit, shit, shit! Well! If it isn't my old nemesis, the toe! But yeah, imagine that situation right there, except that the tanks were bunched up to each other close enough that a single M60 got 3 kills. A single M60 quite literally got a triple kill.
Цель понял.
We just lost both of those tanks. The 2E42 can handle 30 kilometers an hour. Okay. So the 2E42 is a bit higher rated than the 2E28M. Okay. What was the designation? Because we're talking about the sight and the stabilization system. Do you remember? There's another thing. Was it 1G33 is the fire control system on the T80 and the T64Bs? Because that was like, I know there was another designation that was for their fire, was actually for the fire control computer. I think my frame rate kind of died there for a second. That was a weird moment. 1G is the sight, 1A is the fire control system. Okay. I just remember 1G33 for whatever reason, and that would explain why. It's 1G33, 1A33, and they're the integrated complex for fire control. Because that tends to be, I always remember that's how the Soviets call any sort of system, like integrated system is, they're called complexes. Which, to an English speaker is so strange. Because you hear complex, you think of buildings. You think of a complex as a building. Not as like a computer system or whatever.
Подкалиберным. На 35. ПТР. Цель понял. Огонь. Выстрел. Миномет.
Shit, 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 shit!
Нас заметили.
Again! We lost 2 of them immediately! Oof. I'm wondering if we should maybe switch to the BMPs and push them up ahead of the tanks so that they can engage those Bradleys. That might be an idea, is have the tanks hold at a point and then bring the BMPs up so that they actually engage the Bradleys first. I'm thinking that might not be a terrible idea. I could be wrong and it could be absolutely horrible, but I feel like that might be something to try. But before we do that, we are going to have, there's an ad break going to be coming up. So if you need a chance to stretch, grab a drink, anything else of the sort, now's going to be the time to do it. And I will see y'all when it's over. back. So yes. So here's, oh yeah. There's one T80 with the T64B turret. Huh. That's actually really interesting. How do you actually tell them apart? This tank would retroactively be called the T80B, but in documents it went as T64B on the chassis of a T80 tank, and some of the earliest T80Bs would use T80 sans suffix hulls. Okay, that latter one is less surprising to me, but T64B turret on the T80 hull, I do have to admit, I'm not entirely sure how you tell the difference between those two turrets, because it's not like the T72 where the Dolly Parton armor makes it very obvious. Because that's like the other point of reference I'm thinking about, is that with the T72 it's extremely obvious which one is which because you have the Dolly Parton armor to go off of. But on the other hand, with the T64 and the T80, those turrets are a lot more similar. Like those turrets, they're not exactly the same by any means, but they're a lot closer to each other than say, like I said, the T64 versus the T72 turret. I do have to bring. I do feel like that is a slight confusion to me. Well, we just lost one of the T80s. We lost two of the T80s. Yeah, I feel like I want to try that now. I kind of want to try that now, of having the T80s hold before they come out into the Bradley's line of sight, so that the BMPs can move up. I think I want to try that now, because I think that would actually work a little bit better here. I just want to see how that feels by comparison, just to see if it does increase their odds of survival. So I figured we take, let's have a look at the waypoints and have to, try and decide which one of those would be better for putting like a go, holding a go code there. Let's see, the T80s are going to be here. So let's add a go code here. And then have one for this platoon of BMPs as well. That way they hold so that this group of BMPs can reach this point and they can all advance together. I figured that'll increase our odds of survival, at least slightly. I mean, I could be completely wrong and this just doesn't help anything at all, but I think this would at least slightly increase our odds of surviving. T-87 B. I don't know how protected that position is now that I'm actually looking at it. But it does seem to be better, yeah. That position does seem to keep them out of the Bradley's line of sight. So that while they might be shooting at something, they can't really get many hits on it. Yep, they managed to get that Bradley. Or somebody did anyways. Continue moving up.
Подкалиберный. На 30. БТР. Не понял. Выходи, огонь.
Okay, now let's switch back over to the T-80s. And now we've got everything positioned better. So the tanks can hold back behind the troop carriers,
На 25. Выстрел.
which is a better position for them.
Подкалываем. На 25. Цель понял. Подкалываем. На 25. Цель потеряна.
The system's not... Yeah. Oh boy.
Потеряна.
This just got interesting. The autoloader on one of the tanks just went down.
На 30. Нас видят. Выстрел. Вперед.
I always forget you have to hit the damn button!
Выстрел. Цель. Подкалиберным. На 30. Танк. Цель понял. Вы замечены.
Again! Ugh! Because I haven't set to doctrinal because
Танк.
NATO did it one way, the Soviets did it another. Well, like the Western standard was
Выстрел.
the loader would just keep slamming rounds into the breach as fast as they could, and they would just call out when the ammo round, when the ammo type had changed.
МЗ.
Whereas in Soviet tanks, there's like the expectation that either I forget if it's the gunner or the commander, but somebody has to push the button
Нас видят.
to change the round, to reload the gun each time, which means that you can actually do
Выстрел.
slightly different
МЗ.
reload procedures.
Так. Цель понял. Выстрел. Огонь. Попадание. Цель потеряна. Подкалиберным. На 30. Нас заметили.
Okay. Oh, that's not good. That's really not good. We've lost all but one tank and all but two of the BMPs. Ooh. I think this is what they call suboptimal. Yeah, we've lost 2/3 of both tanks and BMPs. I think if I was the guy, in charge of the logistical spreadsheets for this battalion, I would probably be, back at the battalion HQ. If I saw that was the results, those were our most recent losses, I'd probably be sweating pretty damn hard. Well, there it goes. Shit. Oh man. So I knew Pushington 2 was going to be stressful. I was not expecting Pushington 1 to be like this as well. Ooh. Yeah. This mission has definitely gotten harder with the new AI updates. God damn. Just the fact that once you've been spotted, the rest of the enemy unit knows your last position and it will adjust accordingly. Definitely means you have to be a lot more careful with what you're actually doing. Oh boy, it's raining this time. This will be fun. Okay, good. We are in the correct platoon. So let's get moving again. Three UBR6, 3 UOR6. There's also an original model T-80 with three drivers periscopes at Kamenka, Leningrad, and another at Shaksha near Bashkortostan, and another one in Tatarstan. Oh man. I wonder, do you know why they went from 3 to 1 drivers periscopes? Because there's probably like a bit, there's probably like, that's probably one of those things that is probably well documented. I have to imagine that is at least reasonably well documented, considering that is a pretty big change in the design. Yep, somebody found the Bradleys. Smoke. But there's not a lot of T-80s that were built with them, only from late 76 to early 77. Oh! Oh! I heard that explosion and I knew that was substantial, but I was not expecting it to be as bad as it was. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, no, we basically already failed our we have basically already failed. Oh, we actually got him though. Oh, that kind of works though. I'm noticing that kind of works. want to see if I can figure out how to do that better, but that at least does get us some sort of reasonable results. Ooh. So that does feel like it gets us closer to being able to successfully run this. Holding the tanks back, holding those 2 platoons back so that all 3 platoons are advancing together with no delay does seem to help. Even if things do also seem to go horrendously wrong afterwards. Oh, that might actually help too. That might actually help us there, yeah. Because that way I don't have to worry about... Also, the condition of these tanks is poor. Putting it mildly from some fuck-ass restoration of a bunch of random and mismatched parts thrown out. Oh, yo, we got the camo net this time. Just notice that we actually got the camo net on this BMP. Do any of them else have it? Oh, I think that one over there has it. Neat. So let's see how things go this time. Like before, we've gotten the tanks. We've got the tanks and we've got the 2 platoons waiting so that they can advance together. And I'm hoping that means they'll hold where the Bradleys can't get to them. And so that we advance together as like a unit, as like a single force. That might help us here. What if we do this though? Oh! Oh! I might be able to do something cheeky here. Have these BMPs. I should have probably changed the weight node now that I'm actually going to try this. But have these BMPs come along this way. I could have had the tanks come along this way as well. I don't know. Having them be in a fixing position is actually kind of useful. Not entirely sure, but I'm thinking that that might actually work well for us here. Let's see what our results look like this time. Nothing else that'll be interesting. Something just ate shit. One of the tanks. Lovely.
Подкалиберным на 25. Так, цель понял. Огонь. Выстрел.
Missile away!
Цель.
Ooh, good hit, good hit, good hit!
На 25. Танк. На смене. Прекратить огонь.
Go back to the main gun. Let's resume advance. Shouldn't be... Yeah, both of those tanks got knocked out. Good. Oh, that's one thing that this positioning is less than ideal for. And we lost all the tanks again. Oh shit, nope, there was still an active enemy tank over there.
Подкалиберным на 25. Танк.
Missile away! Oh, I think I just saw that turret go. Yep. Whee! Clung. Oh, that turret was gone. That turret was gone. Hey, Abang, how you doing? Yep, we lost most of the plots. We lost most of the company that time. Pretty quickly. Oh, shit. But now I actually have an idea. I have some ideas now where we might actually just have everyone go on this hook route, which will keep them out of, or if they're at least, we might have it so that only one of the BMP platoons goes there, and we have them wait until the other group has hooked around before they advance. It does mean that's going to be a bit of a risk of counterattack if we get our cover blown early, but if it works, it means that we can use the helicopter as a better distraction and go from there. Let's see if this works. So first platoon will... First and second platoon will definitely go up this way. And then let's see, yeah, we have them come together like that. We have third platoon wait until first and second platoon, wait here until first and second platoon have reached this point. Here, that interconnects those nodes like so. Then they should all advance together with these two platoons being more protected than, you know, as they make their approach, which means that we'll hit the Bradleys all together at roughly the same time. Yeah, I think that node works better. It keeps everything a little bit tidier formation-wise. Yeah, that'll keep everything a bit tidier formation-wise. Alright, let's try this. It also means the tanks will hopefully have at least a bit of a longer lifespan than before. We're about to find out together if that's true or not. Let's see what our results look like. Thinking when we get to that point, we might also pop smoke as we come out around into the as we come out around into the open, which will hopefully give them a, you know, create, you know, a bit of visual cover for the 3rd platoon. We'll see if that works or not, but I'm hoping that's what happens. We're about to find out, though. So stop hold here for a moment. Let 2nd platoon catch up. And then we will resume. Okay, platoon is here, waiting on 2nd platoon to get here. And then, like I said, we're gonna continue our path forward once they've caught up and rallied. All right, moving on ahead. Good. Very nice visual concealment as we're coming along this way. You don't really appreciate that until you have to cross an open space just getting shot at the entire time. Even if it doesn't really do all that much to you, not getting shot at as you cross through an area is very nice.
Подкалиберным на 25. Мы замечены. Ты понял? Выстрел! МЗ! Прекратить огонь! На 25! Да! Выстрел! Есть попадание! Прекратить
2 good
огонь!
hits on those. Beautiful. See if we can't ID those Bradleys now. Oh, the 3rd tank is there. There's definitely toe shots going out. That's a burning PC.
Подкалиберным на 20. Так, они нас видят!
Can't see him through the smoke. Ugh. This is the moments where not having thermals is painful. It is just straight up painful. Third platoon is still intact though, which is good because we're gonna need them coming up soon.
Подкалиберным на 35. Так, цель понял. Выстрел! Цель! МЗ! Выстрел! МЗ! Выстрел! Цель! Цель! Подкалиберным на 30. Так! Цель понял.
Oh, god damn button!
Выстрел! Цель потеряна.
We did get the shot off beforehand though, so
Подкалиберным на 30. Так, цель понял. Огонь!
that's a small consolation.
Цель потеряна.
I guess you might say. Oh, we're out of missiles. That's not good.
Цель. Огонь! Цель. Цель потеряна. Подкалиберным на 30. Так, выстрел!
We're not gonna be able to do really all that much to this tank,
Цель потеряна.
but we're gonna try and do something to it. get them to.
Цель потеряна.
We can't get them to bail. This one's also out of missiles. Great.
Цель потеряна.
Yeah, we are not going to be able to do the rest of this mission if we have no missiles and all of our tanks are gone. That, however, does work overall. The execution could be better, but that plan works. So I am thinking we're going to continue with that. Yeah. Have these two come up here, like so. Then have them wait here until first and second platoons reach this node. Okay. I do like that plan. It's just that it is gonna require much better execution, especially when you consider that the last couple times we've done that, things go horrendously wrong at the worst possible moment. Man, I saw something the other day. I forget what it was. It was somebody talking about, like, I forget what it was, or something like that. And I was just thinking to myself, you know, this sounds like it would taste good, but it also sounds like you're doing this to maximize the sound of slurping. And I'm sorry, but the sound of slurping is one of the most, I don't care. Slurping and chewing are some of the most disgusting sounds that people can make. And so trying to emphasize them, no thank you. No, don't do that. Bad. Stop it. Ugh. The people who like those, the people who like those videos of people trying, you know, where they put a mic next to their mouth and it's like, I'm gonna chew as loud as possible. Ugh. What is wrong with you? Why do you like this? This is horrible. You are deficient as a human being if you like that stuff. You are deficient and should be recalled to the factory for defects. I'm sorry. No, that's a lie. I'm not sorry at all. I don't know why I'm apologizing for speaking the truth.
Подкалиберные на 25. ПТР! Цель понял?
Got him.
МЗ! Огонь! Прекратить огонь! МЗ!
Loading Sabo. Because I know what's coming next. It's going to be those tanks on the hill.
Подкалиберные на 15. Третью! Подкалиберные на 25.
Front towards enemy.
Так! Цель понял! МЗ!
Oh, that mean I didn't hit the reload button.
Огонь! Выстрел! МЗ! Выстрел! МЗ! Передок! Прекратить огонь!
I don't like that one being there.
Down there!
And I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a second group as well. So let's keep an eye out for it. Maybe not. At least not yet. I know there's a Bradley over here that's gonna need to be dealt with. I can hear it firing actually right now. But this position's actually decently protected against it. So we shouldn't have to expect any unpleasant tow surprises. Good, one tank down. Give me a position. Right side. Okay, direct front. Oh, we lost the gun on this one. But they're bailing out. So we at least secured that one before. We at least took that one out beforehand. Yep, guns out on this one. There's the Bradley. Okay. Only one tank left, but we haven't lost everything. You know, they are still they're still fully functional. I'm pretty sure the only thing left is going to be the counterattack force up near Anton. Never mind. Disregard everything I just said. Oh. That was horrible. That was absolutely horrible. Ugh. Absolutely horrendous performance there. Jesus Christ. There we go. And then the modifier here, as before, because that actually works really nicely. Set a go code here. Oh, that actually works really well, having the BMPs go through that forest road there. Ooh. Ditch that go code. And instead, we'll have this group of BMPs come up here. The tanks will wait here so that once the BMPs get here and here, they won't rush ahead of them. And then everything will actually move on to Objective Anton from there. Like so, yes. Use the route the enemy tanks come up against them once we've cleared that path. We're starting to have ideas now. I don't know how well they're gonna work, but we're starting to actually have some thoughts on this now. And the rain might help us here, at least to some extent. Less than it would if they weren't, if they didn't have thermals, but it should help us at least to some extent. So let's run that again. Coming at a bit more of a measured pace as well, rather than slamming it full throttle all the way. That'll probably help our odds of survival, at least to some extent. Let's see what happens this time. I remember what it was I saw. They were talking about like how coffee, like coffee, you have all these like really, like all of these various drinks that are made with coffee, whereas tea doesn't have nearly as much like that, at least in popular, like typical places. Tea is typically served much plainer. And so they were talking about like, you like play with it, do like you see you add like canned apples to it. It's like, no, it's like a pastry or whatever. It's like, this sounds really good, but the way you're showing this, I cannot help but think that to some extent you're trying to maximize the god-awful slurping noises. It did look good though, because they added like cinnamon and like canned apple, and like stewed apples too. It's like, that looks really, really good. But the something about the way they were drinking it in the video, I could not help but think that like you're trying to maximize the slurping noises because you are one of those delusional defectives who thinks those sounds are good. Thinking I may actually want to do something else here real quick. I just noticed that there's something I might want to do here. And that is I might want to set the vehicle speed so that, that right there doesn't happen again. Because I do think to some extent that where the vehicle speed is at right now is not necessarily ideal. Let's see if I'm right. Add modifiers, set vehicle speed. $20. Wait for node. Here. Set vehicle speed 20. And then as before, we have the BMPs. Split off when they here. The tanks will have a wait for node here so that they hold their advance. Actually, not there. Wait for node here. So actually, I do think I want the tanks to go in first, but I want them to hold until the BMPs are close. It's one of the other things I'm thinking with that. Otherwise, yeah, that looks good. That group of BMPs goes through those woods. This gets them some amount, at least some amount of cover. All right, I think that'll work. Speaking of woods, oh man. So I did not know this until, so I have a really close friend who I did not know until recently has never actually, so I knew for a while he was like a big fan of Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker. I didn't know that he had never played all the way through Majora's Mask though until the other day. He was actually kind of in the middle of it, and so he was on the Goron part, and having because I like Moriko and Colt both play that game a lot, like randomized. I realized in that moment, wow, I have completely forgotten how Majora's Mask is actually supposed to go, thanks to all of the randomizer runs I've seen where, shit's just been jumbled out of order. So I feel like I should know this game to some extent because I am actually fairly fond of it. But also, I felt completely lost because I was trying to think, I was like thinking back to, I said a lot of like my thoughts have been like really jumbled by the aforementioned randomizer runs, where things are not as they originally, things basically moved out of their original order. Why is that the thing that goes to my right now? Ooh, na 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 but also, so then I'm like, for whatever reason, I've had, and it's like, I don't even know why, it's like, why this in particular, but for some reason I've also had like a swung version of, speaking of Zelda and Ocarina of Time in particular, the owl in Ocarina of Time that people really hate? Kebra Gebra? I've had a swung version of his theme stuck in my head for the past couple of weeks as well. So, like, da 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 da, ba 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 Ba, 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 ba. But also, as you see, ad breaks just started, so if you need a chance to stretch, grab a drink, anything of that sort, now's the time to do it, and I will see y'all when it's over. back, so let's give this another run, shall we? So that helicopter is doing a lot of the work for us, which is very nice. Let's get artillery on these while we are here. Cass on this one. There we go. That'll get us a nice preemptive bombardment to work with, which is something I should have been doing before. Actually, yeah, like that is something I definitely should have been doing before. Because now we're actually going to try and make sure that happens. And that'll, like I said, that'll hopefully give us some better survivability there. Cass will further engage that group.
Подкалиберным. На 25. Так. Так, понял. Огонь. Выстрел. МЗ.
Good hit on target.
Подкалиберным. На 30.
Cass overhead.
Так, понял. Выстрел. Есть попадание.
Remember to hit the button, just like reflexively almost at this point. It's like, just do it.
Выстрел.
Even if you think it's a pointless act, you might as well do it. Okay, this tank is down.
Выстрел. МЗ.
Wow, shit, that was fast. 3 firepower kills in a goddamn row. You love to see it. You love to see 3 perfect breach hits in a row. That was horrible. That was horrible. Ugh. Just 3 perfect breach hits in a row like this is fucking War Thunder. That was disgusting. This modifier definitely works though. So we're gonna do that. And they're also gonna do the vehicle speed because that one actually works really well too. Although I wish there was like another option for vehicle speed that was like 30 kilometers an hour. Just, you know, not quite as fast as 40. It's a bit faster than 20, not quite as fast as 40. Because I feel like I said that plays nicer. Well, I was saying like when Samar was here earlier, I said that plays nicer with certain vehicle stabilizers. So let's try that again. See if maybe we have better results now. Especially if the helicopter can actually ID stuff for us. That in particular I think helped us a lot. Is having, first of all, having artillery and Cass soften up the target beforehand is definitely a big thing. But alongside that, letting the helicopter, you know, like slowing down so the helicopter can ID stuff before we go into the actual, go into the shit, definitely helps our survivability. Even if we had like that absolutely disgusting chain of breach hits with those M60s just now. Ugh. Like, ugh, that was bad. Literally, ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that? Ugh. Literally felt like that with how disgusting that was. Good, it's not trying to say, you missed the waypoint, turn around, I was afraid I was gonna do some stupid shit like that. It's done that to me before, so it's not an entirely unjustified thing to think about. Not an entirely unjustified expectation, because it has happened to me before. Let's see if we are... Yeah, we're making we have a much nicer pace here though, so let's slow down the tanks just a little bit so so we don't get ahead of the BMPs. Okay. Did we just lose the helicopter? I think we just lost the helicopter. Shit. So I know we have some expected avenues of attack that we're gonna have to worry about. This being one, this being another. Let's also throw smoke here. Hopefully that gives Cass something to work with. Okay, yep, they definitely found something. Looks like they're both going for the tanks in that area, ignoring the Bradleys. Not entirely surprising, that's a higher priority target. Even if I do wish they would actually engage the Bradleys to some extent, because those toes are a menace. I'll take that. I will take that regardless. Okay, Cass is leaving the area of operations. We've arrived at the target area. Leaving the area of operations. Like that one bit from God, why is that bit from Armored Core 2 the first thing I thought about? It's like one of the... It was just a random mission from Armored Core 2 where you have to chase down a truck that has like a disorder unit in it. I think it has it has a disorder unit in it. You have to chase out like a transport truck that's going down a highway. And when you get there, it turns out that it has a disorder unit in it. But the bit that I'm remembering is the bit where at the beginning of the mission, the truck that actually got you into, that got you, you know, that transports your AC, they're just like, we've arrived at the target area. Leaving the area of operations. Which is like the most random shit to come to mind. Of all things, it's that big.
Прекратить огонь! Прекратить огонь!
Have we lost? Yep, we did lose all the tanks. Okay, so maybe going really slow there doesn't actually work as well as I thought. Because that does mean that when we get there, we're very exposed. That may not work as well as I was thinking it would. Just something to think about. Maybe we go for the 40 instead of the 20 here. That way we're moving decently quickly. And then once we get further into the AO, maybe we slow down so that we are at more of like a combat speed. That might actually be a better move here. Yeah, like here we would slow down. So that the stabilizers work better. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that might work. There we go. Let's see if this works any better. You know, so hopefully we have some... We're a bit more survivable than before. We'll see how that works. Like I said, I'm hoping that works better than what we were doing before. Because we definitely don't want to be so exposed that, you know, like so slow that when we get there, the tanks and shit are already all waiting for us. But I am thinking we may want to, like I said, move just a little bit faster while Cass is, so that while Cass is moving towards there, they'll engage, then we'll be able to engage shortly afterwards. No, it's too early for the artillery. So hold off on that. Yep. They've definitely ID'd targets. So pulling out here, we slow down as we approach. Let's see if we can get an idea of where those enemy tanks are at as we cross out, because they should actually be approaching now. Oh, that cast found something. That cast plane found something. Oh, that was bad. Already lost one of the tanks to a Bradley. Smoke out. Oh, that Bradley is positioned so obnoxiously. Oh, I hate that. Like, it's so hold down. Oh my god, they're just... That's like M901 behavior right there. Basically, they don't even have like the sight up above. They just have the tow launcher. And it's enough for them to see. Ugh. 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 It reminds me of that time that I was doing one of the campaign missions, and I think this is actually something they noticed and they had to fix. But there was an ATGM launcher that could hit you through the hill, through a hill. And I lost a whole platoon to that. I was like, what the hell happened? So I checked the AAR, I checked the after action report. And it's like, oh yeah, no, they just shot at you through the side of the hill. Ugh. Was absolutely foul. When we get here, we want to slow down to a combat speed for the stabilizers to work better. Same goes here. That way, as they're moving off onto their other route, we'll do that. Once they get to here, we want them to speed back up, though. Same goes for this platoon. Set to max. Come around here, slow back down to combat speed. This platoon will wait for this node. Come here. And then here as well, slow back down to combat speed. Before advancing to Anton. There we go. I don't know why, but seeing, like, setting it to max reminds me. I was talking with somebody. I was out with my friend the other day. We went to this place that was like a it was like a what's the word for it? Basically, a buy-sell trade show. Like a trade show. I don't know. Trade show's not the right term for it, but basically, it was a show for like TCGs and other like die-cast card collection and like collectibles and stuff like that. But while we were there, we stopped by one of the booths because one of the like a friend of a friend runs that shop. Runs a shop that is at that booth, that has a booth at this show. And while we were there, there was a card that got brought up that I'm just thinking about for whatever reason called Max C. I don't know what it does because it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card and I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh. But apparently it had just gotten banned, so he had needed to buy something. He needed a new card to replace it in his deck. Again, like I said, I don't really know Yu-Gi-Oh very well, but whatever that card was, like I said, it had gotten banned, so he had needed a new card to replace it. And the card that replaces Max C is absolutely adorable. It's called Mulcharmy. It's like something like Fualos Mulchar. I have to pull up the name of it now. I have to pull up the name of this card now. Because it's like, it's got a two-part name. What the hell was it? Because it's an archetype. Mulcharmy is an archetype. But I'm trying to remember what it actually does. It's not Perulia. Fualos, yeah. Mulcharmy Fualos. What do you do? You control no cards. You can discard this card, apply these effects to this turn. Each time your opponent special summons a monster from the deck, immediately draw one card. Once during the end phase, if the number of cards in your hand is more than the number of cards your opponent controls, plus 6, you must randomly shuffle cards from your hand into the deck so the number of your hand equals the number your opponent controls plus 6. Can only activate one other Mulcharmy monster effect, then the turn you activate this effect. Okay. So this was the card he was getting to replace, like I said, I think it was called, yeah, Max C. And Max C got banned. Is this the correct one, or is there another one called Max C? Yeah, it was this one. And it got banned apparently. Like recently. Yeah, this is the one. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. This turn. Each time your opponent special summons a monster, immediately draw one card. You can only use this effect once per... Oh! Yeah, I can see why this is a problem. Because I know enough about Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, so I said I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a very good reason I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! So there is and this is not just in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a type of deck that I consider to be like you are a bad person if you play this deck. They're called OTK, one turn kill decks, where basically the whole point of it is that you have like a big combo that you play all in one turn, and with that big combo you win the whole round. In a lot of other games, they work better and they're less despicable in other games because you are gated by resource systems. But Yu-Gi-Oh has no resource system, which means that you can have not just an OTK deck, You can have an OTK deck where if you get a good draw or you have enough draw power, you can deploy that OTK in the first turn. And I hate that. Oh, that was lucky. Oh my god, that was lucky. Knocked out that Bradley immediately. Oh, I think we hit the tree. Considering how long that reload took, I'm surprised. I'm not. Whew, okay. First one down. Do we get him? We hit him, but I don't know if we got the kill. That BMP might have just now. But just to make sure, yeah. I say we dust off and nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. God, I love that bit from Aliens. Like, that will always be like one of those things that just remains, you know, lives in my head rent free. For whatever reason, it's just, yeah. I say we take off and nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. Oh, we still have all 3 tanks. Good. And the platoon is intact as well. So it's not like, oh, we lost one of the, you know, we have like all 3 tanks, but one of them is disabled. No, the platoon is still intact. So we can move up here now. Hold here. Engage the inbounds. Oh, that was pretty. I don't know which tank of the platoon took that shot, but that was a pretty shot just there. Okay, let's move up. I think there's a third one with them, which would be a whole platoon, but we can hold here until the BMPs continue, you know, reach their destinations. Yeah, take care of that problem. Monitor the BMPs. Looks like 3rd platoon is gonna need some help reaching their destination. They're just a little stuck. So let's go ahead and navigate them real quick. Oh yeah, no, there's a Bradley that sees us. I don't know where it is exactly, but that Bradley sees us and is not happy about it. All right. Oh shit, we lost all of 1st platoon. We lost all of 1st platoon. Shit. Whew, that is less than ideal. Okay, good. Second platoon is catching up now. So they haven't completely screwed the pooch yet. But things are definitely gonna be rough here.
Подкалиберный на 25. Танк.
Missile away.
Подкалиберный на 20. Танк. Выстрел.
Missile away.
Цель.
Whew.
Огонь. Прекратить огонь.
Okay, good. Moving away. Second tank identified.
Подкалиберный на 15. Выстрел. Танк. Цель. Прекратить огонь.
Those are those two tanks that were causing us issues beforehand. But now things are going to get interesting because we only have the two BMPs left. But oh shit, we actually did it. That was it. Hell yeah. Oh shit, that was a terrible sloppy win. But for pushing 10, I will say that's better than average. That is better than average. Considering how much of a nightmare. This one less so. Part 2 more than part 1, but pushing 10 is painful. But you know what? I think that's what we're going to call it for tonight. So let's go see who we can raid into, shall we? Who's around that we can raid into at this hour? We're not like completely devoid of options, but let's see who's around. Who's around? Who have we not raided in a while? Nikto's playing the Mound. Let's see. Karagi's playing Elden Ring, which probably means that her raid is set up. Her raid settings are set up so that people can't raid into her because she doesn't want like random backseaters. Let's see who else is on. Roy is on. Let's go see what Roy's up to. That's an idea. Let's go see what Roy's up to. And as always, you want to see what I'm up to off stream. These are all the places you can find me. And let me get the raid message for everybody on the Twitch side as well. There we are. Well, I think that only leaves one thing to say. If you're new here, you already know, if you've been here before, you already know what it is. If you're new here, well, I hope to see you again. But until then,